Hi there, and welcome back to the Average Person Advice Channel. I'm the Average Guy Nick, and today I want to talk a little bit about relationships and relationship building. So, relationships obviously are very important. I think, having relationships and having good relationships and that need for human interaction is a very important part of, the human race, and it's, I think, something that pretty much everybody longs for. And obviously, there are people that are more social and people that may be a little more antisocial, but I think that need for connection with other people and other humans and family is all, sort of ingrained in us, maybe going back to survival days, hundreds of years ago or whatever, but regardless, it's something that I think we all want and we all need in our lives. And during the pandemic, especially, it's even more important to have those relationships and to have good relationships. I know for myself, if I didn't have the relationships I had with my friends and loved ones and stuff like that, trying to get through the pandemic and survive it would be extremely, extremely difficult for me. So, relationships, let's talk a little bit more about sort of the foundations of that and stuff. So, relationships really are built upon trust, and relationships are a two-way street. Both people have to want to be a part of that relationship and build that relationship. And within the realm of a relationship, of course, the first piece or aspect is the initial, meeting someone, development of the relationship. But then once you've developed a relationship, there's also the piece about maintaining a relationship. And these days, especially, I think everybody's so busy. We all have so many different things on the go. Trying to maintain that relationship might be, one of the more difficult parts for a lot of people. So I'd say, to all parents out there, when your kids are first getting into school and everything else, try to encourage them and help them build, those relationships at a young age. A lot of my really good friends, for myself, I developed those relationships when I was a lot younger, and they've really stood the test of time partly because of that. And I know other people that, also have relationships like that, and, having those relationships for a long period of time has been extremely beneficial. And today's day and age, with all the social media and everything, and especially with the pandemic making it even harder for kids to see other kids, it's even more important to really try to help focus kids on that relationship development, right away at a young age. Now, let's say, you're a bit older and maybe you're in a position for whatever the reason that, you need to start developing relationships. Maybe you just moved to a new place. Maybe there's other aspects there. Maybe you want to develop relationships in terms of business relationships and build your network and that kind of thing. So, again, the biggest piece there is making that sort of initial connection. And for that, you can go through something like social media or LinkedIn. LinkedIn's really good for developing those business relationships and making those connections. I mean, you can even do that through certain other things like Instagram and stuff like that. And of course, maybe not right now because of the pandemic, but as we start to open up more and we're able to get out there more, doing things, joining groups or clubs, going to events, using, websites like Meetup where you can join a group that has a specific interest in mind, like, let's say it's cards or board games or bike riding. And it's a great way to just meet people and start developing those relationships. And the biggest piece, especially if you're a little, socially nervous or you're a little bit more antisocial, is you really have to just push yourself to get out there and talk to people. And don't be afraid or worried so much about what people might think. Just get out there and introduce yourself and start talking and start trying to build and develop those relationships. And just through that, naturally, there'll be people that you tend to connect with better and maybe people that you don't. And the ones that you connect with better, at that point, it's easier to, continue to try and develop that relationship. But you have to put the effort in. You have to really put that energy in to, make the connections, take time, whether it's virtual meetings right now during the pandemic, have a virtual coffee meeting or a virtual drink or something like that. And then, of course, as things open up more, actually get out, meet people, do things, try to just continue to build and develop those relationships. And then, over time, as those relationships get stronger and get better, the trust will continue to increase, the relationship will get stronger, you feel more comfortable opening up about things. And it's when you get to that level, when you have those kind of relationships, that you really have now someone that you can count on and they can count on you. And those are the kind of relationships that really help get you through the tougher times, whether it's through a pandemic or mental health issues, if there's anything like that you as an individual have to deal with or that comes up in your life, or even just tough periods during loss or grief. I mean, I think we all have to face some loss, some grief at some point in our lives. And being able to have those relationships and make those connections is extremely important. So, I encourage everybody, get out there, talk to people. Don't be afraid just to have a conversation even, and get more comfortable with that, and try to start developing relationships. And if, you kind of really click talking with somebody, see if they'd be interested in grabbing a drink sometime or hanging out and doing something. Just, get out there and start having that, because that social aspect is very important. And I think, when we have a period where we don't have it, maybe you don't even really recognize it, but then when you do have it, you really see the benefits and the bonus. And, I know for me, if I'm having like a bad day or a bad week, and then I have a good call with a friend, or I go see someone and have a drink and hang out, and it helps so much. It takes away, a lot of the frustrations or stresses of everyday life and the other things that you have to face and deal with, right? And then of course there's relationship building in terms of, say, if you want to find a significant other. And the principles are basically the same, but obviously the goal is to eventually find someone that you love and that you can have a long-lasting, relationship with, in that way and in that regard, right? That's everything I want to talk about relationships. So, again, if you like this video, if you like my channel, please like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. And of course, anything I can do to get out there and help other people, that's ultimately my end goal with this channel. So, thank you so much. Average Guy signing off for now. Have a good day, guys.